Today we're going to go over how to froth milk without an espresso machine. So I got two different options here. One is the Nanofoamer by Subminimal, and one is already going, and it's the Maestro House milk frother. Before we dive into that, I just want to say welcome to Cabine's Coffee Corner. If you're looking at purchasing one of these, please use the link below. The Maestro House one was sent to me for free, and they are offering a discount. If you use the link below, there's a discount code to help you out with that. This is completely unbiased, and I'm sharing my own opinions on this. If you could like and subscribe, that really helps me produce more content, and I have an Instagram account called Cabine's Coffee Corner. You're more than welcome to follow me there. So with the Subminimal one, you have to go ahead and find a way to heat up your milk. So you can do that on a stovetop with the special Subminimal pitcher. I don't have that one, so I heated it up in the microwave for a couple minutes, and that's already preheated milk in here. And I have the lithium one, which is about $57 versus the Maestro House one, which is around $70, give or take, depending on the sale. So they're pretty not too far off. The Maestro House one does automatically, so you just have to simply put your milk in and click a couple buttons. You can change the foam and the temperature on this versus this is kind of a manual one. So we're going to go ahead and steam the Subminimal one, and you're just simply going to put the whisk on the top of it and kind of aerate it that way. It takes some practice and it takes some work, but it does do a decent job, in my opinion, of producing milk. And when that Nanofoamer, or when the Maestro House one is finished, it will give us a little beep indicating that. And the nice thing about the Nanofoamer is it comes in two versions. There's a battery-powered one, and there's this lithium battery rechargeable one that takes a USB-C, which is what I recommend because apparently the battery-powered one does not give enough juice, and you have to go through batteries like crazy in order to make it work. So I'm not obviously pouring latte art, but I am able to give my opinion on whether or not you can. So the nice thing about it is you can, with the Subminimal one, you can really fine-tune any way you want, but it does come with the downside of not being able to heat up milk with it, which does have its pros and cons, but throwing it in the microwave, this does a lot better than all the other kind of whisk-shaped ones. It also does a great job of mixing and frothing cold foam if you're into that kind of like cold foam, cold brew type thing, and pour it in there, and it has a nice texture. It's blended well and definitely provides enough foam for latte art and does a great job on that. You can't really tell, but I'm not going to drink this because it's warm milk and it just sounds weird. So I decided to pour these in an actual pitcher just to kind of give a radius here. So with the Maestro House one, you have this nice little metal top here, and then it heats it up to the temperature that you want, and I chose the smallest, less foamy settings. So one of the main problems with these is oftentimes you can't get good enough milk for latte art, and it's just doesn't give you a lot of customability. It's more of like you want this cappuccino with like this big thing of foam on the top of it. It does a great job for that. You can do this a cold froth on this. Now you can see that it's done, and I'm going to go ahead and lift off that. You can do a cold froth on it, which means you can basically do it without heating up the milk. And this was on one of the lowest settings that you can get. And basically how this works is it has this little whisk in here, and it has some different attachments on that whisk, and it sticks in by a magnet and froths it that way. But it's pretty easy to clean on that. And so the milk is a little foamy on this one, even for the least amount of foam setting. But if you transfer it to a pitcher, you can kind of get latte art on it. It's not going to be as great as the Subminimal one, but it does it all for you. So basically my thought for this, it kind of like separates the milk too much, in my opinion. I don't really know. In comparison to, like, I've used one of the ones by Breville that was a little bit more. It was like $130, and I think this one does a little bit better, but it's kind of hard to tell on this one, but that just completely separated, and it's just more warm liquid milk without any foam, and it doesn't like really combine the foam well with the actual milk. That's a little bit better now, and the further you go, the better it gets. But yeah, Here's my main thing with both of these, is it kind of goes two parts. Obviously, it's way more convenient to do the Maestro House one because it does heat up the milk for you. However, it doesn't give you the best results, but it does give a lot better results than the majority of these automatic steamers that I've used in the past. The sub-minimal one does not heat up the milk, but it gives you the best consistency that you can and really resembles an actual espresso machine when it comes to it. So honestly, it's kind of a handoff to figure out which one you'd actually want. If you're more in the convenience or if you're more in the quality. If you want to really get into pouring latte art, you can't really control the texture of the milk for different drinks with the Maestro House one, so you'd probably want to go with the sub-minimal one. If you're looking at just kind of mixing ingredients cold, the sub-minimal one is a little bit easier. If you're looking at just pure convenience, you want hot milk, you're going to throw it in a travel mug, don't care about latte art, want some foam in there, the Maestro House is definitely the more convenient and the easier one to go for that. Both of them do a great job. Both of them have their skills and their strengths. One of the things that I like probably the most about the Maestro House is if you want to make cold foam for a cold brew or something like that. And typically cold foam consists of like pouring some milk with some powdered sugar or something like that to create like a sweet kind of foam in there, or some honey or something along the lines of that. You mix some ingredients together. I found way more convenient to do the Maestro House one over that, because I kind of just pour the ingredients in there, and as long as you don't get too much like powdered sugar in the mix of milk, then it will work great for doing that. And it's kind of a set and forget thing. It's pretty easy to clean. The Nanofoamer, obviously it takes a little bit more work, but you still get great results on it. For me, I have both of these. Obviously the Maestro House one was sent to me for free. I'm grateful for it. It is a great milk frother. I asked for that. They did not offer it to me, but they graciously sent that out. And I definitely would not discard this if you are looking for this type of a solution for heating up milk. If you don't actually have a steam wand, if you don't actually want to do stuff, if you have something like the Flare Neo, I think this is a perfect matchup. The Flare Neo will get your job done for making espresso. It doesn't do an incredible job of making espresso, but it's great for somebody who just wants to remove the cost of like a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts from their coffee in the morning. They can get a Flare Neo and they can get one of these, and they have a great setup for under $200 that can steam and heat milk, probably to the quality and the ability that they would want it to. It's not like going to be like a specialty coffee shop that serves really nice quality stuff. Those aren't going to get you there, but it will get you to something like a Starbucks or like a Dunkin' Donuts that gives you a good results to have a hot latte in the morning if you want to, by pairing that something with a machine that doesn't have a steamer. If you're really, really into coffee and you have something like a Flare Pro or a Flare 58 and you want better quality stuff and you want better quality foam, then you're going to want to go with the sub-minimal Nanofoamer. Get the lithium one. The one that's cheaper, that's battery powered, from what I've heard, is not worth it. As soon as they made the lithium one, it did substantially better, because if it's ever dropping in battery, if it's losing its power, you can simply recharge it and you don't have to go through a ton of batteries, because you will have to replace the batteries before it actually dies, because it loses its power with the other one. So yeah, that's kind of a recap. If you want the best quality, go with the sub-minimal. If you're looking for the most convenience, use the Maestro House one. For me, I'm usually looking for the best quality, so for me, the sub-minimal one hits my knees where the Maestro House doesn't, but I know many other people in my family and many other people that I've helped with espresso machines, specifically the people who would buy a Flare Neo. I'm going to recommend the Maestro House one because I think that is the most convenient, and it does give you a little bit more customability if you want to heat up your milk more, cool it down, or if you want more foam or less foam. It does it all pretty much for you and pretty easily. So that's my thoughts on these two things. If you're looking at purchasing these, please use the link below. Sub-minimal, I did pay for that one. Maestro House sent me it for free, and they did give me a discount code, so make sure you hit that if you're looking for the Maestro House one. If you're looking for the sub-minimal one, please use that link that I'm going to throw on Amazon, where I'll make a slight commission, no extra charge to you. And if you made it this far, please like and subscribe. That really helps me produce more content for this channel. Thanks so much for watching.